Hey there, church. How are you today? Happy Friday. I want to spend just a couple of brief minutes talking with you about Psalm 3. We used this as one of the Bible readings in our Wednesday morning service this week because as I was reading, wondering what we were going to preach about, talk about, I interacted with this psalm again for the first time in a while and found some language that I thought was pretty encouraging and helpful and hopeful. Let me read a few verses from Psalm 3. But before I do that, let me ask you a question. Do you remember back to your school days? You had studied for a big test, you sat down at your desk, you looked down, and one of those first few questions was something that you had not studied for at all. You look down at a question and you just have absolutely no idea what to do. It makes no sense. For me, that was in Algebra 2 when I was in high school. That was not my thing at all. I would look down at letters and numbers and parentheses and all of that and say, I have no idea what to do with this. I don't even know where to begin, let alone if I'm going to try and make a best effort sort of answer. I have no idea what to do. So my head would just be hung kind of low. I'd be staring at the page with no idea what to do at all. Seems like in our lives of faith, that can be the case. We look around us in our lives, in our world today, and we see broken circumstances, broken relationships. We see a virus that's wreaking havoc in our lives, separating us from family members. We've got lots of anxiety, lots of questions. We look around us and we don't even know where to begin in how to respond in our day-to-day lives. Our heads are low. We're looking down. We're wondering, how can we possibly make something of this situation? In Psalm 3, David was in a similar situation. Lots of crisis going on around him and turmoil. Listen to the words of Psalm 3. O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. But listen to verse 3. Important words. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. You know, those are unique, interesting words. The lifter of my head. I can't think of any other place in Scripture that it talks about God being the one who lifts our head. David is talking about a change in perspective here when we are tempted to be looking to our own power, to our own circumstances to try and fix things. Sometimes we get too focused on ourselves. But God is the one who pulls us up by our chin and offers us a different way of thinking about our circumstances. Look at the picture behind me. You see Jesus on the cross there. This is a reminder to me. It's my favorite hymn and a beautiful picture of Jesus on the cross. Jesus bowed his head on the cross. Jesus gave up his breath and bowed his head so that in the middle of your circumstances, in the middle of what feels hopeless to you, because Jesus bowed his head, yours can be lifted. You can be confident. You can have hope, even in the midst of circumstances that look totally confusing and chaotic, because Jesus Christ has overcome the world. The difficulties of our life have been defeated already by Jesus. The victory is won. Jesus, no matter how crazy the circumstances look, when we don't know how to respond, Jesus lifts our head and reminds us to look to him. Because in Jesus, 1 Corinthians tells us the victory is already won. Whatever it is that you're facing in your life today, health crises, broken relationships, workplace frustrations, Psalm 3 reminds us that Jesus is the lifter of our head, the one who brings us up and shows us it's not up to us to earn his love, but that because Jesus bowed his head for us, ours can be lifted confidently in hope because of what he's done. God bless you and those you love today.